Hello everybody, it's the Worm, back again for some more Steins Gate. Today we'll be moving right along. Not much occurred last time. We did make a few crucial discoveries. Well, one major discovery, and then we had this whole thing with the D-mail discussion. So Mayuri decided to stop by, and that caused the rest of us to have a group meeting. We decided to name the mail we send back in time D-mail for whatever reason. Still haven't figured out why, but, you know, is what it is. It might be what... It was either what Daru or Mayuri called it, and then Chrisu just abbreviated it. So, but it's not terribly important. We get the gist. The major discovery, though, that we had was that it turns out the phone wave was still operating as it always has. We simply needed to utilize it during a certain time of day, which at the moment appears to be around noon until around 6 p.m. You know, maybe give or take a bit, but that seems to be the rough amount of time for now. Although I'm sure we're about to get, you know, they were running the test, so I'm sure we're going to get some more accurate information right now. So let's go ahead and continue and get that information. Afterward, the D-mail experiment, its name is Operation Erd, though I lost my chance to announce it, continues for 2 hours. During that time, every D-mail goes back in time without a hitch. Now, it's time to take a break. We're all hungry except for Mayuri. We've been up since last night. She's been going at it for hours, and she's still full of energy. It's hard to believe she was so opposed to time travel research before. Her scientist's blood must be on fire. We've made a number of discoveries, but we can wait to assess them until after we eat. Daru and I leave the two girls to watch over the lab as we go shopping at the convenience store. I'm surprised Moeka hasn't popped up yet. We return from the convenience store to find the Brawn Tube Workshop's one and only part-time warrior standing in front of the building. She's stretching. She notices me and calls out without stopping her exercises. Oh, you know, time travel research. Shenanigans. This girl has a thing for unusual words. Yeah, he just can't help it. Part-time warrior glances at the Brawn Tube Workshop. Daru salutes, then races up to the second floor. Yeah, so my estimation of Suzuha has been shaken up a bit recently. Obviously, there's the ongoing John Titor discussion. But the fact that she's still... it seemed to be leading... she just chose this Brawn Tube workshop to work at. She says mysterious things that sound like she's a time traveler or something. And she seemed to have knowledge of the IBN 5100. And so it all seemed to be leading towards something, at least in my mind. But then suddenly, a couple things have thrown me for a loop. And it's, one, we've got the IBN 5100, and we've just told her we're developing Time Machine. And if she were someone from the future, specifically John Titor's future, she should be very interested in those things. And yet, she's just let it go. And then second is this whole Makise Krisu thing. I'm obviously... I have no idea what's going on between them. Obviously, Krisu doesn't either. So, the game hasn't... We'll get to that eventually, I'm very sure. But... that just... It almost makes me think, is she from a future or something, and she happens to know Makise Krisu in the future, and they have bad blood or something, Something like that. It's just strange. I've got all these pieces, and I thought they were fitting together in a certain way, but now I got two more pieces, and they seem entirely unrelated to the others. So, I guess we'll just have to find out.
Oh.
Come to think of it, she did pick a fight with Christina yesterday.
知り合いなのか?
昨日が初見。
初見?
Yeah, it's the way she phrases some things. That's a strange way of putting it.
Oh, なるほど.
Well, okay, it may not be... Okay, it may not be something like she knows Makise Krisu in the future and has bad blood with her. It could be something like... I mean, let's put things into context here. We're in a story where time travel's real, and CERN is developing it, and also we, these random jokers in Japan, are also somehow simultaneously developing time travel. So who's to say if we're successful in this venture here, what if Makise Krisu is, I don't know, really famous and or infamous, because at least I would view time travel as a pretty crazy negative thing. So it could be, rather than she having known Makise personally, it could be she, as I said, it could be Makise is just infamous for one reason or another, and thus that would lead Suzuha to have a negative opinion upon meeting her. Again, that's all just speculation. So I could see it. So again, if I'm going with Suzuha as a time traveler, then those are two possibilities for why she would not like Krisu.
初めて会ったにしてはやたら敵意をむき出しにしていなかったか?
遅延だよ。
Oh. Okay. What? I barely heard her. Her voice was so low. That sounds... Declaring it like that sounds a bit more personal. I'm about to ask her to repeat herself, but Suzuha is staring at the ground in silence. She obviously doesn't want to talk about this. Did she call Krisu her enemy? But that doesn't make sense.
お、個人的な恨みがあるということか。しかし、初めて会ったの?
まあね。
See, okay, so you know how I've been speculating about her and Moeka, and And I've said before, I've known this story has been about time travel, so my mind's obvious, my mind's already attuned to look for time travel and everything. But, Rintaro here, now that he is aware that time travel is a thing, I feel like he should start to worry. He should, this should, yes, the way she phrases things are strange. So I feel like he should start having similar thoughts to me. Something like, well, wait, is this person a time traveler? Yeah, maybe he will. Maybe he will. Just, yeah.
何かあったのか？
直接はないかな。
間接的というとどういうつながりだ？なんなら俺がクリスティーナに話をつけてもいい？
別にいいって。
もしかして単なる逆恨みだったりするのか？
もうしつこい。
She hits me with a glare.
岡部倫太郎さ、私のことより店長に謝りに行かなくていいの？
Actually, I'm getting cold feet. But I am Hoin Kyoma, the mad scientist who brings chaos to the world. I can't falter now. I steel myself and enter the Brawn Tube workshop. Part-time warrior follows me inside.
失礼する。
Mr. Braun is sitting at the counter inside, slurping delivery ramen. Even when I enter, he doesn't look away from the huge 42-inch CRT. It's showing some news shows. Let me try again. Showing some news shows report on some celebrity divorce. Part-time warrior doesn't say anything. She's just gonna stand there and watch him rip me a new one.
おい、岡部。おめえ一体上で何やってんだ?
Straight to the punch. He doesn't take his eyes off the TV, nor does he stop slurping his ramen. Yet despite his sedentary posture, he exudes extraordinary pressure. But now is not the time to falter.
実は世紀の実験中でしてね。すなわち人類の科学史を塗り替えるタイム。
おめえらのお遊びのことはどうでもいいんだよ。このビルのオーナーは俺。分かってんのか？結構ボロいビルだからよ。おめえらがガタガタ揺らすと壁にひびでもできるんじゃねえかと俺は気が気じゃねえわけ。
Better keep quiet about the dent in the floor.
ミスター・ブラウンよ。まさかこのビル耐震偽装物件ではなかろうな。
だったらどうなんだよ。
Holy crap. Maybe we should seek shelter soon.
ちゃんと補強工事はした。だがな、いくらなんでもおめえらは揺らしすぎだ。
このビルの一つや二つ崩壊したからなんだというのです。
You know, I get it, Rintaro. You have the character. You always have him. Never mind. It's not gonna matter.
あ？
我らが行っている実験は何度も言うが人類の科学史、いや人類の歴史そのものを塗り替えるような壮大な内容なのです。このビルをあと10年延命させるよりよほど意義のあるものだ。
The building starts shaking again as soon as I finish speaking. Flakes of concrete start falling from the ceiling. The 42-inch CRT's image goes to static. Damn it, Daru. What are you doing? I thought I told you to stop the experiments.
あら、岡部。
He's glaring at me.
なんか落ちてきたぞ。ラーメンに入ったろうが。どうしてくれるんだ。とにかく、これ以上揺らすんじゃねえ。
Ugh, yeah, that would, that's a very quick way to piss someone off.
でないと、家賃を1万上げる。
What? If you raise it 10,000 yen, we're ruined.
任せるがいい、ミスター・ブラウン。我が名誉にかけて今日はもう揺らさないと誓おう。
With that, I race out of the Brawn Tube workshop. Guys may need to think of
クリスティーナ、今すぐ実験は中止だ。
may need to think of relocating or something. Okay. When I burst into the lab, I find the three of them in the middle of lunch. Mayuri has juicy chicken #1. Daru has a convenience store boxed lunch. Chris is eating cup noodles with a fork.
ごめんねおかり。今マユシが唐揚げを温めようとしたんだけどね。ついいつもの癖で逆回転させちゃって、ついでだから放電させてみたの。
そうか。
あんたにメール届いてるはずだけど、見てないの？
Your sarcasm is not appreciated, Christina. You know as well as I do that my phone is still attached to the phone wave name subject to change. I disconnect my phone from the phone wave name subject to change while grinding my teeth. One more, please?
ふざけるな。ミスター・ブラウンに睨まれるのは俺なのだぞ。
5日も前に忠告したのに。
Well, yeah, the timestamp's from 5 days ago, but
店長、怒ってた？ああ。殺意の波動を感じた。
Daru turns pale, but the two girls don't seem to care. They know not the wrath of Mr. Braun. Ignorance is bliss. Well, certainly, Chrisu, you should know better. I mean, surely you're able to realize if they get kicked out of this place, you know, it's going to be a lot more difficult to run experiments. I mean, they could, I don't know, you probably wouldn't be able to do it in your hotel, would you?
とにかく今日はこれ以上の実験は中止だ。
ま、実験のデータは十分取れたわ。
Yes, please, please do tell. Then Chrisu hides her mouth with her hand as she yawns.
さすがに眠くて辛くなってきたし、髪もパサパサだし、シャワーを浴びてゆっくり眠りたい。
Don't yawn, you'll make me yawn. I sigh and take a boxed lunch out of the convenience store bag. It's cold, so I toss it in the phone wave name subject to change and set the timer normally.
シャワーならここにもあるよ。バスタブはないんだけどね。シャワー室っていうのかな。オカリンはいつもそこを使ってるよね。
I don't know. I'm sure it works fine, but I would be partially worried about just using it as a normal microwave.
なんか汚そう。
お世辞にも綺麗なシャワー室とは言えん。このビル自体がボロいからな。
そもそも岡部と同じシャワー室を使うなんてお断り。
気持ちはわかる。誰も使えとは言っていないしな。もっとも徹夜明けで俺も誰もお前もかなり臭いだろうか
な。Lukako. About frogs. Kiyoma-san, are you familiar with Garo froggies? They were a huge fad last year. We have tons of them at the shrine if you'd like. So, we have tons of them at the shrine, so if you'd like, could you take a few off our hands? Dad brought a whole box home for some reason. Then he said they were for me. I don't know what to do with them. P.S. I was so bewildered I couldn't do any practice swings with Samadare. Reason. I suspect last year's Garo Froggy boom was an organization plot. Be careful, Lukako. Those Garo Froggies may be responsible for your father's strange behavior. Okay. This is Dad. You know, the stories you tell paint a very different picture of your father than the impression I got from meeting him, which is the true him, I wonder. And Garo Froggies. Those weird-looking frog things that were popular with teenage girls in Shibuya last year, right? If I'm not mistaken, they came out with a wide variety of them. So, do we want more about the dad, or do we want more... Well, this is kind of scare him. Ask about the dad, or ask about the froggies. Let's go with the dad. Let's see how Lukaku reacts to this. Okay. Given the sweltering heat and the fact that we kept the windows closed all night, I bet this place is smelling pretty rank by now.
だから食べ終わったら帰るわよ。
Krisu slurps her cup noodles indignantly. I bought them at her request. She was raised in America, and yet she likes cup noodles? Strange.
高級ホテルでセレブ気分のバスタイムか。俺も連れて行ってほしいものだ。
お断りします。
マユシーも行ってみたいな。
まゆりさんなら歓迎する。
本当？ありがとう。
I take my warm food out of the microwave, take a fresh bottle of Dr. P out of the fridge, and join in on lunch.
ねえねえオカリン、前から不思議だったんだけどね、ご飯食べながらどうして炭酸ジュース飲めるの？その組み合わせって美味しいのかな？
特に疑問を持った覚えはないぞ。僕も。
そうね。私も不思議には思わない。
まゆりがおかしいんだろう。食事と炭酸飲料の組み合わせなど普通だ。普通だよな、上皇。
異論はない。
そんな、みんながおかしいんだよ。
Whoa, okay. Ah, I see. Docparian. A term coined by Ocarine, someone who loves Dr. P above all other beverages. Well, I'm a pure Docparian. Daru loves cola like a typical fat otaku, and Krisu lives in America, home of soda. That was that was certainly one way to say it. So I admit our opinion is biased. But that doesn't matter right now.
さて、オペレーションウルドの実験成果についてこの場で検討してみようか。
オペレーションウルドって？
そういえば昨日はどこぞの助手のせいで作戦面を披露できなかったのだったな。昨日夜から今日にかけて行われた D メールの連続送信実験、それがオペレーションウルドであり、
実験の成果はあった。
She interrupts me again.
D メールについて少なくとも何ができるのかは分かったから。
Krisu places her empty noodle cup on the table, then retrieves the whiteboard from the development room. While the rest of us eat, she scribbles on the whiteboard, then puts it up against the wall.
とまあこんな感じ。補足や反論は？
Okay, hang on. Of course, I can remove everything except this. Use modified command for microwave warming function, reverse rotation, once microwave door open while warming is in progress, timing unconfirmed. Send mail to phone wave, name subject to change during discharge. Conditions for discharge? Yeah, 12 to 6. D-mail text limit. 12 1-byte or 6 2-byte characters times 3. Any more fails to send. Interesting. The distance into past depends on phone wave name subject to change timer input. 1 second on timer is 1 hour into the past. That's gonna be important. Contents of microwave become jellymen, confirmed to also teleport. So they were just consistently putting enough time on the timer that it was always 5 days. And the very first one that we did that got split into 3, that one was enough time that it went 5 days or 7 days in the past, I think it was. Okay. Nothing especially. She's summarized the vital parts. Mayuri has her mouth half open in a blank stare. She clearly doesn't understand.
D メールでは最大で英文36文字か。日本語文18文字しか送れないというのは不便だな。改善したいところだ。
Furthermore, each D mail is split into 12 character segments. If you send 36 characters, you'll get 3 12-character emails. If you try to send more, everything after the 36th character disappears.
でもいつへ送るかの調節ができるのを発見したのはすごくね。
Though we can only set it in 1-hour increments, we can control how far back the D-mails go by using the microwave's timer.
発見しただけで満足してたら無意味。原理を突き止めないと。ここに書いたのは現象として確認できたものでしかない。
原理の究明か。確かにそれが分からなければ真にタイムマシンを作ったことにもならない。6文字 ×3 しか送れないのは何が原因だ？
Daru and Krisu remain silent.
ねえねえ。
Suddenly, Mayuri, who's been staring at the ceiling in confusion until now, raises her hand.
あのね、唐揚げやバナナはゲル揚げとかゲルバナになっちゃって、でもお塩はゲル塩にはならなかったんだよね。
だから略すなよ。
According to Mayuri, the refrozen chicken had indeed been jellified when she tried eating it. Krisu's prediction was right.
で、D メールは18文字まではちゃんと送れて、19文字以上は消えちゃうんだよね。きっとね、おっきなものとかたくさんは送れないんじゃないかな。あ、もしかしてそのカーブブラックホールが
Big things or a lot of small things?
カーブラックホールね。
カーブブラックホールが
だからカーブラックホール。
ブラックホールの穴がきっついんだよ。
Yeah, totally.
マユシ、
hang on.
今の言葉もう一度よろ。穴ってところから。
Okay, hello. I'm not sure if you guys could hear that. There's some people working outside, and well, I've got headphones on and a fan on, so I didn't really notice it until recently. So they must have been pretty dang loud. So if you heard that, sorry. I went ahead and tried to make sure it was not as loud. So. Apologies if you heard some loud noises for a little while there. Let's continue.
穴がきっついの。
これはけしからん。言わせているんじゃないや、ホダル。
Mayuri has flowers for brains, so she's easy prey for Daru's perversions. It drives me crazy.
穴がきついか。あながち間違ってないかも。
But that confuses me a bit, because surely what we're sending is, at least with the emails, it's data, right? Wouldn't that be very, very small? I mean, I'm sure I'm missing something, but go ahead.
おそらくセルンのタイムマシンと同じ原因ね。リフターの調整がうまくできてないから完全には得意点を裸にできず、そのせいで送れる容量が限定される。
唐揚げやバナナはともかく全角6文字半角12文字のデータっつうと容量は12バイトだね。
English characters are half width, so they use only 1 byte, but full width Japanese characters use 2.
バイト？キロバイトじゃなくて？
おーっとマキセ氏はメカに弱いタイプと見た。
そうなのかジョッシュ。
うるさいな。バイトなんて単位は最近見ないから確認しただけよ。
By the way, 1 kilobyte is 1024 bytes, and 1 byte is 8 bits.
まあ電子メールは本文テキストだけじゃないけどさ、送信先と送信元のメルアドとかヘッダとかもろもろ込みだともっと増えるけど、目安として12バイト分の文字数なら3回分は転送できるってことじゃね。あ、ちなみに件名は入れると入れないとでどう変わるかわかんねえ。
確かに唐揚げやバナナをデジタルデータに換算したところで12バイト程度のサイズになるとは思えない。
Yeah. I say that, but I don't have the slightest clue how you'd even begin to measure, let alone convert, chicken or bananas into bytes of data.
塩は一つ一つが小さいから12バイト以下と換算された可能性がある。
質量が大きいと超重力に押しつぶされるっていうこと？
質量ではないかもしれん。データには重さはない。
いずれにせよ得意点を裸にできていない時点でイベントホライゾンを通過せざるを得なくなる。
I did have a thought. I was thinking, I didn't vocalize it, but you know, I was wondering, you know, just a silly little thought. They send these emails back, and I was thinking, well, how come we don't have gel leaking out of their phones, or, you know, something like that. So I guess I'm still a bit confused. So I guess the conclusion is that if it's small enough, it won't gelify. Is that it? Okay.
そのイベントホライゾン内では空間と時間の入れ替わりの影響でリング上得意点に到達した被験者は超高速に達しているから超重力により押しつぶされて破壊されたデータがブラックホールから吐き出されてしまう。
ゼリーマンの出来上がりだ。
でも質量が小さければ通り抜けられるとも思えない。どっちにしろ超重力の中を抜けないといけないのよ。
穴がきついのならば注入する電子を増やせばいい。
そんな簡単な問題とは思えない。セルンだってその方法は試したはず。
So
なのに実験開始から9年経っても解決できていない。
this is a bit off topic from what we're currently on, but and again, I'm sure the game's probably going to explain this or get to this at some point. But again, this goes back to the John Titor. What were they? How did he describe it? Distortions or divergences, something like that. So they're sending these emails back in time. You'd think every time they do that, like their memories aren't updating, so to speak, to a point where they suddenly remember receiving those emails, right? They open the phone, they see it's simply dated from 5 days ago, but they don't remember getting them. But you'd think if that happened, You know, wouldn't they... Would that... Again, we're talking butterfly effect thing here. Wouldn't just the sending of a simple email... Would that not create a new timeline or cause such a divergence or... I don't know. I feel like I'm just missing something here. Okay. I'll just leave it alone. Again, if this is going to be something that's explained, don't let me know. I'll just wait to get that information. But it's still just... Unless they've already explained it. Again, if there's something that I've missed, and you guys can remind me of that, I would appreciate that. That's perfectly fine. Let's continue.
単純に電子の量を増やせばいいってわけでもないのよ。
そうか。
そもそもセルンではリフターがあるけど、電話レンジの場合、そのリフターに代替するものが何なのかすら分かってない。これじゃ調整以前の問題。
She has a point.
リフターに変わるものが何なのか、それは不明だが。
Well, you know, the more that I think about it, I feel like... Sorry, this is going back to what I was just talking about. I feel like the first time we ever sent a D-mail, the first D-mail ever, you know, it was the one where we talked about Makise Krisu being dead. He sent it to Daru, the very first one we did. That feels like how I would imagine it would go. Where, you know, it felt like everything shifted, and then suddenly there was no one else on the street, and the satellite wasn't landed on the roof. Instead, it looked like it was smashed into the side of the building. You know, that seems like what I would expect. You know, it's pretty crazy to think about how could one email suddenly change, you know, sent 7 days in the past, suddenly change everything so much. But nonetheless, that's something I would... It makes me think, how come after every time we send these D-mails, like, apparently we spent all afternoon testing this, sending various D-mails. How come each of those hasn't triggered a similar scenario to what we saw at the very beginning? That's my question. Oh well, something to keep in mind.
少なくともその代替物の効果により、リング得意点に36バイトプラスアルファまでは通り抜け可能な道が作られているのは確かだ。
よくわかんないよ。
Mayuri, finished with her chicken, looks at us in confusion.
リング上得意点の入り口である内側のイベントホライゾンを魔王城の門に例えればいい。
魔王城?
Hundreds of soldiers attack the heavily fortified Demon Lord's castle gate. The soldiers can use the magic called Lifter to force the castle gate open, but they can only keep it open for a moment before it closes. During that moment, only 12 soldiers can break through. The soldiers can only use Lifter magic 3 times. The 36 soldiers who make it through the gate return triumphantly as the heroes who slew the Demon Lord. But the soldiers who were left behind are imprisoned by the Demon Lord's minions. They are taken to the castle's prison cells and turned into slimes. The heroes save them after defeating the Demon Lord, but unfortunately, they go home as slimes.
スライムになって帰ってきた騎士さんたちがゼリーマンなんだね。
だが例外もある。
The soldiers can combine into a super soldier with the strength and size of 100 ordinary soldiers. The super soldier has the power to defeat the Demon Lord alone, but since his body is too big, he can't pass through the gate, even when it's opened by the lifter. And so, deprived of his magic's effectiveness, the weakened super soldier is seized by the Demon Lord's underlings and sent home in defeat as a giant slime.
なんだその無茶な設定。
図体が大きすぎてはダメだという例えだ。
Yeah, I was able to follow that.
そう
オカリンの例えはともかく、これでゼリーマンの件は解明できたんじゃね？
すべてマユリのヒントのおかげだな。
マユシーは役に立ったかな？
ああ、いいひらめきだったぞ、マユリ。
Well, you know, they do say that wisdom and intelligence are not the same thing. And so, I could see Mayuri being very wise in her own way.
よかった。
でもまだ仮説よ。それが証明されたわけじゃない。
証明ってどうやんの？セルンと同じように人体実験するん？
Yeah.
岡部と橋田さんが被験者として志願してくれるなら喜んで実験してあげるけど。
人体実験ってなんか響きがやばいよね。性的な意味で。だが断る。僕はされる方よりせっかくだからする方を選びたい。
右に同じ。いや、性的な意味でという部分は同意しないが。
バカども。
Krisu gives us a cold stare and shrugs her shoulders in exasperation.
何度も言うけど、問題はあの電話レンジのどこにリフターに代替する機能があるのかっていうこと。
それともう一つ、なぜ時間帯によって放電現象やゼリーマン化が起きたり起きなかったりするのかだ。
Yeah. Why, indeed.
わからないことはあるけど、D メールのやり方についてはもう完璧ってことで、ファイナルアンサー？
Final answer. Net slang used in the question. Is that your final answer? Originates from a popular quiz show whose contestants originates from a popular quiz show with contestants who want to be millionaires. Yes, indeed.
過去にメールを送れるってすごいことだよね。
人が直接過去へ飛べるわけじゃないからタイムマシンって感じはしないけどな。
それをやろうとしてセルンほどの研究機関が失敗し続けている。タイターの予言によると完成まであと24年かかるんだっけ？
I answer Krisu's sarcastic question with a nod.
確かに今の俺たちでは物理的なタイムマシンは無理かもしれんな。セルンに比べて金も施設も足りない。
Yeah, remember what I said earlier this episode with Rintaro, where I was saying, okay, now he knows time travel is on the table. He should start thinking about things through that lens. And he should be thinking back to the idea that he's aware of a John Tidor existing before this John Tidor. I feel like he should be able to start realizing some things here.
しかし俺たちはそれでもタイムトラベルを実現させた。データを過去へと送ったのだ。
この電話レンジはもっとちゃんと検証するべきね。何が起きてるのか把握しないと。
D メールをもっといろいろ面白いことに使いたいよな。
気持ちはわかるが今日は無理だ。もしまたビルを揺らしたらミスター・ブラウンから最後通告を出されるだろう。
He'll raise the rent or kick us out of the lab.
詳細な検証は明日以降に行う。だがこれだけは宣言させてくれ。
I step onto the couch and look at each lab mem in turn.
靴脱がなきゃ汚れちゃうよ。
本日今日って何日？
8月2日。
2010年8月2日は人類史にとって永遠に記憶に残る日となるであろう。なぜなら今日この日我ら未来ガジェット研究所は人類史上初のタイムマシン開発に成功したからである。
Well, no. that's not true. I mean, don't we have evidence now that CERN has been experimenting for 9 years and has already sent jellymen? And you'd think, I believe in their own notes that we discovered on in their files, that there was a stage of experimentation prior to human experimentation. So, no. I don't think that's the case, Rentaro. But it is true. I do think you guys probably got the second one down.
人類史上初じゃなくね？セルに先越されてたし。
Yeah.
そもそも開発したとは言えない。偶然使えるようになっただけ。
Also that.
助手はセレンディピティという言葉を知らないらしいな。ペニシリンに X 線にダイナマイト。その他多くの偉大な発明は偶然から生まれたのだぞ。
Yes, I believe we got this previously. Dynamite, a nitroglycerin-based explosive invented by Alfred Nobel in 1866. X-ray, a type of electromagnetic wave developed by Wilhelm Röntgen in 1895, famous for its application in medicine, such as with diagnostic imaging. Penicillin, the world's first antibiotic, discovered in 1929. Don't Nobel and Röntgen, aren't their names both used for something else? Like, Nobel is, we have the Nobel Prize named after him. And isn't Röntgen a unit of measurement or something? I feel like I heard that before, but I'm not sure. Let's continue.
それはそうだけど。
でもクリスちゃんってタイムマシンなんてないやーいってこの前は言ってたよ。今はあるって認めてるんだね。
今のところは認めざるを得ないってだけ。原理を究明していけば、もしかしたらタイムマシンとは似ても似つかないまがいものかもしれない。
け、どいつもこいつも俺の堂々たる宣言に敬意すら払わんとは。人類史上初の、いや史上2番目かもしれないが、タイムマシン開発の栄誉、この俺が独り占めしても後で文句を言わないことだな。今日の第66回円卓会議は以上だ。解散。
今のって円卓会議だったん？知らんかった。しかも66回って。
円卓だろうがなんだろうがどうでもいいわ。
Krisu gets up from her chair and stretches.
帰ってシャワー浴びて寝る。
マヨシーはもうすぐバイトなのです。
I'm incredibly tired too. Let's just sleep today. But when I lie down, I find myself unable to sleep. Though part of me is still frightened by the dark secrets we've uncovered, the curiosity and excitement are too much to bear. We've built a machine that can send emails to the past. It's like a dream, but it's real, and it's ours. As I start thinking of ways to use it, my imagination spreads out to infinity, driving the last vestiges of fear from my mind. Is this a, was that a scene break or no? What do you think? Let's call it here. Let's not risk starting a whole new thing and going over time. Alright, everyone, I've been the Worm. This has been Steins Gate. We got some more information on how again, more of the minutia on how the time travel is working here. It's definitely what I'm looking for. Hopefully we will get more of that as time goes on. A lot of unanswered questions still. In any case, I hope you're all doing alright, and hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.